Hi guys, welcome to another video. Today I want to start off by thanking you guys for 100 subs, which is that's a lot. When I started mapping, I was like at 40 or 35 or something like that. Now I have 100, which is a lot. So yeah, thanks a lot for that. And as you probably read in the title, the EU will become one singular country. And also for the 100 subs special, I'm gonna show my hand and it should be on screen now. I hope I do edit it in. So yeah, anyways, let's just start the video. So the EU consists of many countries, which are all of these that are now one country. But also Ireland, Sweden and Finland, which are not, just kind of connected. So yeah. So the first thing that happens is gonna be the joining of some microstates. And the Vatican actually does not join. And yeah, so those are gonna be the microstates that do join. So Andorra and San Marino. Alright, and Monaco too. There we go. So next up, Albania joins the EU, which leads to Kosovo also joining the EU. But because Serbia claims Kosovo, then that kind of leads to a war between our new European Union and Serbia. But it's just it's kind of obvious how this is gonna go. They push it from the south, I also push it from the north. I pretty quickly capture Belgrade. And the rest is obvious. Serbia falls. And now there's one more member of the great EU, which is now a nation. So yeah, color it back like this. So the next thing that's gonna be happening is Bosnia joining the EU. And this leaves two countries that are sure. Yeah. But both of the countries do finally join the EU, but they just kind of look out of place. And I don't know if in real life they would join. To be honest, I doubt it, but this is for fun, so they do join. And yeah, next country that joins is gonna be Ukraine. And yeah, so now the EU has expanded a lot. But now they will be having some wars. Which the first one will be with Switzerland. Because, they don't want to join, but the EU wants them to join. But the Swiss will always stay neutral. So for a long time nothing happens. But then one part of the great fort that is Switzerland gets broken through, which kind of just leads to a lot of army just flooding into the country. And yeah, so now the odd blob is gonna be gone. So yeah, there we go. So the next war will actually be a very big one. And it's gonna be the war with Belarus. Which pretty obviously leads to this. And yeah. So these guys Okay, so now we got most of the land colored in. And now the war starts. So the EU captures Kaliningrad and starts pushing into Belarus, but also Russia captures all of Crimea, and they also push into the Donbass and Luhansk region, which they connect up and make something that looks like this, which also looks like what's happening now. So yeah, Belarus is pushed back nearly to the Russian border, and a push is started from Finland here and here, but the Russians have also managed to push up here. So now we have something like this, and this is what it looks like for a long time, but the EU makes some pushes and fully capitulates Belarus, and Ukraine has some successes on their border, or the occupation zone, whatever. So the Russians leave Finland because they're just kind of starving, and the Finnish army goes into St. Petersburg. It's nearly forced to leave, but the Estonian army comes in, and now they have good supply and they can hold out. So an overall big front is made in the Baltics. And yeah, so Russia has most of their units here and here. But these areas up north are really undefended. So that's where the EU focuses on. And they do capture it, like most of the area. So the Russians actually make another push in Ukraine, this time a pretty big one, and they take a lot of this land. Also keep in mind that the EU is getting supported by the US, but like with aid, like guns and stuff, so that gives them an advantage. So with this happening, Moldova kinda has no choice to either join the Russians or the EU, and they decide to join the EU because they think that that's the team that's gonna win. But they're just kinda steamrolled through, and the front looks like this, but NATO keeps pushing in the north, and they're actually kinda nearing Moscow, which is pretty concerning to the Russians, but they conscript a bunch of army and they can defend Moscow for now. But they continue their campaign down south and fully take out Moldova. They push into Bucharest, capture it, and they even start the push into Bulgaria, which they also managed to pull off. So yeah, they also make some advances in Ukraine. So the EU keeps pushing. Like Moscow is like here, or actually no, it's like here. So NATO is really close, but for now they capture some other areas and try to stabilize the front as much as they can, but in their favor, of course. So yeah. So back in the Balkans, Russia keeps pushing on, but At this point, they're met with a lot of resistance, except in Serbia, which helps them. But now they're stopped. And after a few months, are forced to slowly retreat because these areas are pretty unstable. So yeah, they retreat from here, but stay in Ukraine. They actually make a even bigger push. They actually managed to capture Kiev. Though a few weeks later, NATO or the EU goes into Moscow and captures it after a week of fighting. So now Russia is forced to leave the Balkan front and just keep to Ukraine. So they lose this stuff, and now NATO is definitely in the winning position. So yeah, they start pushing in Ukraine and start pushing more in Russia, and after a pretty long round of discussions, Russia does agree to a peace treaty. So the EU takes all of this land, and this is not accurate, but let's say Moscow is somewhere around, like here. Let's just say it's split into east and west, and that creates a whole new Berlin situation, but this time it's Moscow. Well, alternate history moment. So yeah, now the EU has won the war with Russia, but they do want to expand more, which they will do, but peacefully for now, because all these countries in red decide to join the EU, which leads to them getting even bigger and way more powerful, because Turkey is a pretty strong country. So yeah, and now the most important moment of all, Britain. So they do not want to join, but they will have to join. And yeah, so they push from Northern Ireland and capture it fully. And they make a landing in England, very, very close to London, and after some fighting they do capture London. So they keep pushing through the UK, and now the British nightmare has happened. They're back in the EU, so that's horrifying for them. And now they're forced to use the euro. So yeah, also Iceland joins. Also Greenland technically also joins. And that's actually not the European Union, but it's more of a... It's actually North America, Europe, and Asia, so I don't actually know what to call it, but yeah, it's still the European Union, but better now. So the last country to join, whoa, wrong color, is gonna be Norway, which finally makes them the true EU, and they have successfully united all of Europe under one government. So this will actually be the end of this video. The video is pretty long. So yeah, thanks a lot for 100 subs, and have a nice day. Also subscribe so I can hit 200 subs someday maybe. Yeah, bye.